Hey guys, it's Jess. I am here today to talk about Chain Letter and Ancient Evil. It's a bind-up by Christopher Pike. This book is so good. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I was hooked from page one. It was so well written. The character development could have used a little work, which is why on Goodreads I gave it 4 out of 5 instead of 5 out of 5. But the story is amazing. It is about, non-spoiler here, it is about a group of friends who goes to a concert and finds themselves in an unfortunate situation which leads them to committing a crime. They do a good job of covering this crime up and hiding it, and then all of a sudden, one of them gets a letter from someone called the caretaker who says that they know what they did and now they're going to pay for it. And so to do that, he makes them follow these little acts of obedience that are detrimental to them as a person or make them as a person feel bad. So, in the first book, Chain Letter, they find out who it is, and it's a huge plot twist, and it's crazy, and it's awesome, and I loved it. So they find out who the caretaker is, and then it's all done. It's all over. In the second book, Ancient Evil, they start again. After, I think, from what I understand, it was probably after like 3 or 4 months. Maybe it was more than that. Someone gets a new letter from the caretaker, which makes no sense because the caretaker, they already know who it was. In the second one, they have to figure out who the caretaker is all over again. It mixes some awesome being a sleuth and a PI with a little bit of supernatural stuff. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. And I highly suggest it. You need to get it. If you want my non-spoiler review of this, a more extensive review, check out my blog down below. I did do an extensive review of Chain Letter and the Ancient Evil, which has absolutely no spoilers. I will tell you, we're about to get into spoiler land because I want to actually talk about the book. So, if you don't want Chain Letter and Ancient Evil spoiled for you, leave, shut the video off, go away. I don't want to get yelled at. So this, from here on out, will be a spoiler. You've been warned, okay? Okay. So one thing I want to talk about, if you've read this book, is I was a big fan of the crime they committed. It seems like it's believable. It could really happen that you could be driving down the road and you could hit someone, and like, people drive drunk all the time, especially kids who think they're stronger tolerance level than they actually are, and they hit someone, and then you're like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? I know, let's bury him. So as you grow older, you realize probably a poor decision. But if you're a kid and you have your whole life ahead of you, I mean, even I could say that even people my age would do that, where if there was no one around and they hit someone, they'd probably try to think about ways to make it go away so they wouldn't get in trouble. Also, I want to talk about the fact that it was Neil, because I did not see that coming. Neil, to me, was like such a nice guy, and like maybe because I would have seen Neil go to the cops before I would have seen Neil the caretaker. So I was like, what? Oh my gosh, how's that possible? And then, here's spoiling book 2, so if you haven't read Ancient Evil, turn around, walk away, stop listening, because I'm about to spoil. When you find out about the cult using Neil, I was like, oh my gosh, it all makes sense. It all makes sense now. I totally understand why he did it. And all the passion that Tony had when he saw Allison kiss the PI that was helping them, I was just like, I know people that would be like that. Something that's like a totally innocent thing. I will say in the first book, I totally thought that the caretaker was Joan, just because maybe I'm super gullible, and that's like, I'm totally, and everyone else is watching this is like, psh, what are you talking about? I totally knew it was Neil from the beginning. I did not. But I loved that Christopher Pike really like pushed that one home. And then when the second letter starts and she's gone, you're like, oh my gosh, it's Joan. It has to be Joan this time, right? And still, it's not. It's this crazy witch lady. And I was just, another thing was the ending of Ancient Evil. Okay, I don't cry at books. Ever. I never cry at books. I rarely cry at movies. But the ending, when Allison gets shot, I was like, no, you can't. I didn't cry, but like I felt that tightening in my throat. I was like, no, no, things are finally going how they're supposed to. You can't kill her. You can't kill her. You can't kill her. And then the ghost of Neil, it's like, oh, they were blanks. She's really cut up, but she's not dead. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, the elation. I'm so excited. I loved it. I absolutely loved this book, and I think everyone should read it because I think it's so good. That's my review of Chain Letter and Ancient Evil by Christopher Pike. It is so great. I really recommend it. Highly recommend it. If you want a little more detail about why I give it 4 out of 5 stars, be sure to check out my blog down below. The next book I'm going to be reading is Merry Little Christmas by Julia Williams. I kind of left my TBR aside for the rest of the month, and I'm just kind of reading a lot more Christmas books because I love Christmas and I love the holidays and the snow, and I just wanted a little more in my literature. Because Chain Letter really, whew, it had me going there for a minute, so I needed something that was a little lighter, like A Merry Little Christmas. So I should be done with this really quick. The print is massive and it's pretty short, so if you're interested, be sure to tune in. And that is all I have today. Let me know if you've read Chain Letter and Ancient Evil, and please comment down below because I want to share these feels that I have with all of you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if your little heart would be so kind, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!